Let us start the work. Keep a notebook in front of you, everybody, and side by side, keep solving the question. This was the question which I solved yesterday with you people. Let us proceed to the next question. Yeah, this is the new question. Write SQL queries for 1 to 4 and write SQL queries 5th to 8th, which are based on the following tables. One thing I want to tell you people, that sometimes in the given question, there can be error also. Carefully read the statement, carefully read the question. If it contains any kind of error, you have to write that error. Don't just in a hurriedly start finding the answer, start writing the commands. The question may or may not contain any error. But if it contains any error, you have to specify what the error actually is. Don't leave the question as it is. You have to specify the exact error which is reflecting out in the question. So I hope the question is very much visible to everybody. All right. You have one table with the name faculty. It has field name, F code, F name, gender, room, subject, join date. You have one more table, schedule, with the fields CC code, P code 1, P code 1, F code 2, F code 3, F code 4. Now, let us start with the first statement as we were discussing yesterday. All right. To display the details of all the male faculties from faculties table, you are to specify the detail of all the faculty members, but of the male faculty members from faculty table. Let us proceed towards the faculty table. We have a field gender over here that will specify whether the teacher is male or female. So this will become our base for making the condition over here. Select star from faculty where gender equal to male. Where gender equal to male. Is it clear? Is the first statement clear to everybody? Next, to display F code, F name, gender of all the faculties who are teaching subject programming or teaching web design. You are to specify the F code, the F name, and the gender of those faculty members who are either teaching programming or teaching web designing. I mean to say their subject is either of the two. So the command will be select F code, comma F name, comma gender from faculty where subject equal to programming or subject equal to web design. Is the command clear? There is one more way you can write this command. If you don't want to use or operator, there is one more way to write this command. Second option, select star from, oh sorry, F code and F name. F code, F name, gender from faculty, where subject in operator programming, web design. Right? Next, to display F code, F name, join date, room of all the faculty members in descending order of room. In descending order of room. Select F code, F name, join date, room from faculty, order by room, DESC. The examiner is asking you to do the sorting in descending order on the basis of room. So whenever you are to perform the sorting in descending order, you will take order by command, take the field on the basis of which you are to do the ordering, and write the keyword DESC for descending. If the examiner asked you about ascending, then simply terminate the statement by semicolon, because by default sorting is ascending. Still, if you want to show the ascending criteria, you can write the keyword ASC. Otherwise, by default, the sorting is in ascending order. But still, if you want to particularly specify the ascending, you can write the keyword ASC, short form for ascending. But if you want to write for descending, then it is compulsory to give this keyword DESC. I told you that group by command is on the basis of any field. Order by command is also on the basis of any field. Am I clear up till here with all the commands? Moving further. To add new faculty with the following details, you are to insert a new record in the faculty table. Insert into faculty values F1010 Anish Mohanty, male, 209, data structure, and semicolon. Right? Or better, I bring this over here so that it looks clear. Now, with regard to this question, examiner has given one instruction. I just show you the instruction over here, if it is quietly visible. It was here somewhere. Yeah. Just try to read this. While writing the answers of the following output questions, consider the original data as given in the above table without considering the changes done by part 4th. What examiner want to say? In the 4 questions, you are to find the output. But while finding the output, don't take into consideration this new record. Before inserting this new record, your table was this. This was your original table. You are to look for the answers only in the original table. Don't consider this new command, this new entry while writing the output answers. I hope my point is crystal clear to you people. Okay. Now, select count F code 1, comma count F code 2 from schedule where F code 1 equal to F1009 or F code 2 equal to F1009. Let us go to the schedule table. This is the schedule table. There is a column F code 2, but there is no column with the name F code 1. The name is P code 1. In schedule table, there is no column with the name F code 1. So here the command contains error. In the table schedule, there is no field with the name F code 1. Have I made myself clear? Have I made myself clear, 12th class? Now, if we consider only this, if we consider only F code 2, then as per F code 2, the answer is 1. F1009 is coming only one time in F code 2 column. This value is coming only one time in F code 2 column. So the answer, if somebody write like this, so the answer will be 1. But the appropriate answer is this. But in the CBSE marking scheme, they have given both the answers. If child will write the error over here, that will be also considered 100% correct. But if any child give only the answer for F code 2, that will also be considered correct by the CBSE. Next question. Select CC code, F code 3, F name from faculty, comma schedule, where faculty F code equal to schedule F code 3. Join is there, but see the field which I have been compared. F code of faculty is being compared with F code 3 of schedule. And Second condition which is to be considered, faculty F code must be F1001. So you are to write CC code, F code 3 and F name. So let us first see the condition. F1001. This is faculty table. This is F code F1001. So F name is Hari Charan Jha. Hari Charan Jha. Then CC code. CC code for F1001 is, see here, F1001 of faculty, it matches with F1001 value which is in F code 3 of schedule. I again repeat, F1001 value of F code field of faculty table is matching with F1001 value of the field F code 3 of schedule table. Correspondingly to this, the CC code is C1. The CC code is C1. Then F code 3. F code 3 is F1001. This is the answer. This is the answer. Am I clear? Am I thoroughly clear? Now let us proceed further. Select count star gender from faculty group by gender. Group by gender. So again the same concept, male and then is female. Let us count the number of males in faculty table. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 3 male and 3 female. 3 male and 3 female. Select minimum room from faculty where join date more than this date. Where the join date is more than this date, in that table you are to find the minimum room. But condition is join date should be above this date, 12 month 15th date. So let us go up. It's going to hang, I think. Is the page visible? Is the table visible? +2. All right, so we have to find the minimum room. So let us go in the faculty table and let us check the date. 2004 12/15. 2003 is less than 2004. 2004 this, 2006 and 2005. These are the two dates which are higher than the given date, and as per these two dates the room number is 203 208 and minimum room number is 203. So answer comes out to 203. This is the correct answer. Am I totally clear with the complete question of MySQL? So by comparing yesterday also, we have covered 2 complete question of MySQL. Now I shift to the Python questions. Okay. This is the question, output question based on the function concept. Is the question visible totally? Beta, be very fast in giving the response. I don't know why you people give the very slow response to me. Is the question visible? This question is the same question we did yesterday, but with a little bit of change. Yesterday was plus minus. Today we have division and modulus. Before I start solving this question, I want to tell you one thing. This is the division operator. It will give answer in float. This is modulus. It will give the remainder. Clear? Let us start. I make working notes over here. I have A with the value 200. I have B with the value 20. I call the changer function with the values A and B. A and B value have been passed as actual argument, and with these value I am going above. P and Q are the formal parameters. Value of A is given to P, so P also become 200. The variable Q was having the default argument. It was having the default value, but it will be overwritten by the B. So the new value of Q is 20. Now, P equal to P divided by Q. That is 200 divided by 20. It will give the answer 10.0. 10.0. P modulus Q. And what is Q? Q is P modulus Q. The new value of P is 10.0. It is modulus with the 20. It will give the answer 10.0. It will give the answer 10.0. So the first answer as per this statement is, I write the answer over here, 10.0 hash 10.0. Return P. Return P. P will be returned as 10.0 and get stored in the variable A. So the next answer will be, A will be printed 10.0 $10.0 $. B will remain as it is 20. We will take the original value 20. Up till here, am I clear? With these two answers, am I thoroughly clear? Moving to the next step, I have called changer function again, but this time I have called with the value of B parameter only. B will take the value 20. B will take the value 20 and the same will be given to P. So P also becomes 20 and Q will take the default value 10. Why Q will take the 10 value? Because I have passed only one parameter. I haven't passed the second parameter. So as per the first parameter, it will be going just to the first variable. Now, solving this question again, P equal to P divided by Q, that will give me 20 divided by 10. That is 2.0. That is 2.0. Q is P modulus Q. Value of P is 2.0 modulus with 10. It will give 2.0. So third answer that will be displayed over here will be 2.0 hash 10 hash 10. Return P. P is 2.0. P is 2.0. Q has become 2.0, I guess. So it will be also 2.0. Now P is 2.0. It has been returned and go to variable B. Go to variable B. So B will become 2.0 and A will take the value which it got in the previous statement, 10. 10.0 dollar 2.0. 10.0 dollar 2.0. Just give me 1 minute, class. Just give me 1 minute. All right. Is the question visible? Is the screen visible? Beta +2. All right. So we are now at the third calling, changer A. Now A has been sent as the parameter and A will take the value 10.0 and it will be going to P. So P will also take the same value 10.0 and Q will take the value 10. P equal to P divided by Q, which will become 10.0 divided by 10, that is 1.0. And Q will take the value P modulus Q. P is 1.0 modulus 10. So Q will take the value 1.0. Clear? Any doubt up till here? So the next answer that will be printed is 1.0 hash 1.0. Because P has taken the new value this, and as per the new value P is 1.0, which get modulus with the value 10, and we get the answer 1.0 for Q also. Return P. P is 1.0. 1.0 has been returned and stored in the variable A. So A become 1.0 dollar and B will take the previous value, that is 2.0. Complete question is clear? Any queries, any doubt? Now I just show the answer to you people. Check the answer. Now here I want to make one change. I told you when you have single divide operator that give answer in the floating form. If I make it floor division, it will give the answer in integer form. See the change in the answer. Is the change thoroughly clear to each and every one of you?